Alright, and yes, it appears that I need to fix this so that you're not going to be able to hear my fan. Awesome. And it also appears that no matter what I do, you're gonna be able to hear it. Alright. It appears that this is as good as it gets. So we are waiting right now for this to get updated. This was last updated yesterday at 6:30 at 7:36 p.m. Eastern time. So it is possible that it could be any day now, possibly any minute. So we're gonna be keeping an eye on this to see exactly how it's going to play out. But there's a lot that I'm a little confused about like what MAGA thinks is gonna happen here versus what will probably actually happen. Because like in my opinion, California and New York are both lost. They're just lost. There's no redeeming them. They're gonna do what they do, and there's really not much you can do about it. There's really not much you can do about it. There was never a scenario where all these people that voted for this Nitha Rahman was going to vote for Spencer Pratt in the general. That just wasn't going to happen. If they didn't have the option of voting for her, they're going to vote for him. Now, some have said that this was not a particularly large turnout, that it didn't involve everyone. And so that could be true. It could be possible in the general election that he'll inspire more conservative leading voters to turn out. But that to me is a big if. A big if. And I don't really know why MAGA trusts him. I don't. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But, yeah. I mean, things could end up being different, I suppose. And they could end up, surprising us all, I suppose. But right now, I just don't see it happening. And I'm gonna take my name off of here because I think it's actually covering up my face when I look at it in mobile. That's 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 dumb. That's dumb. Why would you guys do it that way? My goodness. I think my name is actually covering up my face. At least it is on mobile. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, it does. What? Why? Why would you do it that way? Oh goodness. You gotta fix this, Rumble. You gotta fix this. Oh my goodness. And I'm just now noticing this, and it is the most ridiculous thing ever. There is no reason that it should be covering up my face like that. Alright, well let's do it this way here. Oh goodness. Yeah, it's better when you do it that way, but still, come on, people. This should not be a hard thing. It really shouldn't. Ooh. I didn't realize when we had the presentation option there. Alright. So it is currently Eastern time. It is almost 10 minutes till 7. We could have a massive update at any point. And, some people are trying to say that it doesn't make sense, that that Nathan Raman that she would overtake Spencer Pratt at this point. But think about it. If 8% goes towards her and he doesn't gain any, he's gonna be in trouble. If he goes down instead of up, he's gonna be in trouble, and she's gonna oust him. And, and I'm just having a hard time believing that she's not going to gain any. That just doesn't make sense. I sometimes wonder if some of the thinking may have been that the hope might have been that by him running, she would not be able to get second place because he would pull enough votes to keep her out of getting into the runoff. But that may end up not happening because, see, in my opinion, Californians are idiots. They are going to continue to do the same things over and over again, even though it is obvious that it is not in their best interest. They're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking that somehow this time they will get a different response. It'll work out differently this time. You know, that it was, there was extenuating circumstances or blah blah blah. We just can't do anything about climate change, so it's not her fault. Good Lord, people. Yeah, we're just not doing enough to protect our planet, and it's just never, it's never gonna end. Alright, I refreshed it, still no updates. I do want to look at one thing that I found kind of interesting on X. There is this very conservative leaning there's this conservative leaning Jennifer Bentlar. This is who she is. She's a conservative journalist. She follows me. I doubt I would have been able to get her to come on. I think I forgot that she was following me, but I don't think I would have been able to get her. I don't know that I would have been able to get her to come on, but she's been getting in very deep back and forth with this Hunter Engelman dude that she is really not happy with, and really not happy with the way he is painting with the way he's painting the elections. And they apparently both live there, but they just seem to have So please, if you don't know California rules, stop posting. There's so many new ballots to count. California accepts ballots that were postmarked by election day for 7 days. The fact that there are more ballots isn't a conspiracy. Stop bullshitting. Focus on what matters. Burying ballots. But I think what's unfortunate and what I hate to see is just how long they have to cure ballots. They've got like 10 days to call these people and say, we have an issue with your ballot, issue with confirming whether or not you were valid to vote, and you need to come in and you need to cure it. If it doesn't get cured, it doesn't get counted. I just question whether it should be like that to begin with, whether or not you should have all that time to cure your ballot, make sure it's valid. But I agree that, that in itself doesn't necessarily make it a conspiracy. And she has all these articles here, I guess, that she has written about their laws in California. Let's see what this one from 2024. So this would be the most updated information. Find the votes. Newsom's vouching for only Democrat mail-in ballots to pass signature tax increase. One of the biggest issues facing California is rampant homelessness and the ability to become homeless people who are mentally ill to comply with treatment recommendations. Newsom won re-election by nearly 20 points. His Yes on One campaign raised over $21 million to flood the digital airwaves, and number one on campaign spent just $50,000. California Party didn't even take a stance opposing it, more to on that in the future piece. It should have been an easy win for Newsom, right? Wrong. For readers who are not familiar with the balloting process in California, here's some background on the process. Okay, so this is what I really want to look at here. It's only for mail-in ballots, since in-person ballots are not rejected. Each county registers of voters publishes a list of voters whose ballots were challenged or rejected regularly during the balloting counting process. Any campaign can obtain that list by paying a fee. An individual can check on the status of their mail-in ballot by checking their county's elections website or calling. It must be informed about why their ballot was rejected and how to cure it. Campaigns send out canvassing teams to the homes of voters whose ballots were rejected in an attempt to get those voters to sign in the appropriate forms to cure their ballot sufficiency. There's a different form for a missed signature than there is for a missing signature, etc. The campaign or voter returns their signed form to the county register of voters. So that's interesting. I'm just not sure. Should the campaigns be trusted to send somebody out to do this? That's kind of a weird thing. Or should there even be a process by which we cure these things? Should it be, oh, sorry, we have an issue with your signature. We're not 100% sure that you actually live at this address, etc., etc. So you either, yep, sorry, you didn't do it right the first time. You're SOL. Your vote doesn't get counted. But her and Hunter Engelman really just got into it, and I'm wanting to see if I can find some of her replies to him, or at least some of his replies to her. Because he was upset with some of the things that he posted. See, now here's now this is from foxla.com. It could be fake news. Like, here we go, get Dr. Don Michael. It's happening again in Los Angeles. More votes are coming in than registered voters, and that's with 100% of the people voting. Are we really going to allow this to happen again? She's asking, she's asking, where's your proof? Where's your documentation? If you're gonna claim that, you better be able to back it up. So what I like is that she's gonna challenge people on what they say. If you're gonna say that, fucking prove it. And I think that's fair. I think that makes sense. And so there was a community note here. So let's view what the community note says. Ella County has 5,808,091. That's a huge number. Registered voters. And less than half of the ballots have been processed as June 4th in the primary election. So she doesn't know yet that they have more votes coming in. This doesn't even tell me whether or not half the county voted or the full county voted. So that's interesting. But it's it's definitely interesting the way that there's going to be people that try to paint this, make it look whatever, when they obviously don't know for sure what's going on. And it's really kind of a shame that you have to deal with this online bullshittery, but it's there. So what if we can't fix the problem? We can't cut through the hyperbole and engagement. Yep, that's right. The thing is, randomly legally that was. It takes longer because state leaders pass laws to send mail-in ballots to every registered voter, allow them to be postmarked on the day of the election, last 7 days for them to be returned, and then 10 days to cure. Finish no verification issues after that. That's a policy. State leaders could choose to have different deadlines and the count would go faster. I'm not endorsing or opposing the policy, just explaining how it works. So here's one of his. There was no misinformation running third of the projection. Mark is not voting. The theme was misinformation. Please reread my post. Oh no, honey, don't do it because you might be in Italy, but you're still an American citizen. Don't do it. Okay, so this was like one of her last comments. So Spencer Pratt surges on election day and suddenly mail-ins roll in. Now he's third behind Bass and the Socialists. They don't steal elections; they harvest them in California. So he didn't specifically say in his post that I'm gonna try to word it here. He didn't specifically say in his post and what he said that this was a prediction, but obviously, it's saying here Mr. Pratt drops third in LA mayoral odds, trailing Mayor Bass and Democrat Socialist Nitha Rahman. I don't even think to me, it was obvious what this was. So I don't really. Yeah, no, he's running the third prediction. Look, it's not voting enough information. You posted misinformation as the niece of an LAPD sergeant and in-law of an LASD homicide captain. I expect your law enforcement will defeat us and desire to return to LA to its glory days. Just be accurate. So no, else. I thought she. I thought she was there for a wedding or something. Yeah, I don't. I think I'm a little confused, Jennifer. Are you there because of threats or? I think I'm confused. Mission days, voted up into fast surgery because real working Angelinos showed up, fed up with Karen Basrio on crime, most of this in the Palisades. I still don't know how to pronounce it. This. Dismissing that observable pattern as fake doesn't make it disappear. You've got deep family roots here. I respect the early work you did in boosting Brad's statistics, but 30 years of blooded body counts in and around the city told me one thing. When the numbers only favor the same progressive insiders after the polls close, people notice. I'm not writing for clicks. I'm a 30-year Leo who actually lived the consequences of policies you cover from overseas today on the K. The storage is real, the mail and dynamic is real, and telling a retired homicide that controlled these streets to shove criticism will change that voters are seeing in real time. Due diligence goes both ways. Let's stick to the getting crowd across the finish line instead of personal shots. LA deserves better. Hmm. Well, I'm sorry, y'all, but I just don't. I don't think he's gonna do it. I don't think he's gonna win. And I don't think it's necessary. It is not necessarily cheating. No, I can't prove that. But the fact of the matter is, they're allowed to count these votes 7 days past, as long as they're postmarked by Tuesday. And then they have 10 days to cure any problems with their ballots. That's the way that it works. And so when you have it set up that way, it's going to take longer. And people seem to have this idea that they make it sound like if countries are counting it overnight, that means that they don't have any issues. What? they make it sound like that means that there's somehow less I don't know, less fraud because they're getting it counted all at once. It's not necessarily true. I just don't quite understand. So I don't know. I just don't. For some reason, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, so she just had this constant back and forth with him. He is insisting that I guess his thing is that he feels like he's seen it time and time again. But the problem of it is that you're never going to convince anyone that pushes MAGA ideology, particularly on Twitter, that pushes that ideology. You're never going to get them to admit that they might be wrong about the election being stolen. Because let's say Spencer Pratt, he doesn't get the votes. He gets the votes. So let's say he gets the votes to proceed to the runoff. I mean, he would only need 6% to overtake. It's like he could get the 6% that he has to tie with. He could get that. She could get the 8% that she needs to get up to 30, but he would still be in the lead. Where's the cat and the Trump hat? I came for the cat. Well, I don't have a sorry, I don't have an avatar for that cat. I don't even think I. Let me see if I have his image saved here on this thing. I don't think I do. No, I don't have it saved in the studio thing. But I should be able to get it loaded. Hold on a second. There we go. Let me see. No, that didn't work right. Hold on. I can do it as a background. But that's it. I thought I could do it as an overlay, and I can't. That. I know. I appreciate it. I decided that it would be fun to pull up the cat. Just thought it would be fun to pull up the cat. So, what are you? You're welcome. So, what do you think ultimately are Chris Pratt's chances here? I think there is very possibly a chance that we can't say for sure that this woman is not going. This woman with the weird name is not going to overtake him. I don't feel like we can say that for sure. You know, it's like it could all be wrong, and he ends up getting the votes that are needed to stay in second place. But we don't really. You see, here's the thing. Like, well, what is your facts for that? Because as I was just explaining, this is the way that their law works. They have 7 days from the day that it is postmarked to count it, and then you have 10 days to cure it. Where are you even getting that number from? Just because that's the number that was mailed out? I don't even know where you're getting that number from. And I think that it's really ridiculous to think that 22 million ballots are going to get turned in. That all of those are going to come on. Come on. Let's just be, you got to be realistic here. I'm not saying that there might not be any fraud, but you make it sound like that you know for sure that 22 million are gonna be turned in when there's not nearly that many fucking residents. And I don't even know where you're getting that number from. Please understand, I voted Trump 3 times, and I am uneasy about saying that the election was stolen just because I I don't know who that is and where did they get their facts from? How do they know any of this? Like, personally, I think if you want the facts, if you want to know the truth, you need to follow this LeVar person whose post that we are going over. I think that you need to take a look at her and her tweets and what she is saying about the issue. Because I think it's very possible that she may be more well informed than anybody. I personally think that the problem that you're dealing with in California is not being so much the stealing of ballots being a problem. You know what I think the issue is? I think people are stupid. They think they can keep voting for the same shit over and over again and get different results. They just don't, for whatever reason, they don't get it. They don't understand, well, it wasn't her fault that everything happened the way it did. It was climate change. And she will not disagree with you on that. She will say that they need to fix their voting rules. Absolutely. That in every state, probably I believe actually needs to do a better job than that. But I think the biggest problem is that people just they want to blame it on everything else. Oh, we have an update. We have an update. Let me see how bad it got. All right, let me pull this up here. This is what I've kind of been waiting for. I had a feeling that there would be kind of a dump, a dump of votes, and I was right. So Karen Bass is still at 35.1. I think she was at 36. Spencer Pratt stayed roughly where he was at 29.1%. So she went down. He kind of stayed the same. She went up a little bit, as I predicted. Nathan remained. She went up a little bit. So right now, what's crazy is that we are only at 66% of the vote turned in. They still have a lot of votes, and again, there is a curing process that they have to do. And I don't know, what I question is whether or not we should have a curing process. Whether or not, it's turned in on that day, they can't verify your identity. Oh well. Too bad. So sad. But then, let's face it, we as Republicans would be hating that if it meant that the person we wanted elected didn't get in because there was a problem with the ballots. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Because I'm pretty darn sure that that's exactly what would happen. Pretty darn sure. I've got a separate issue here. Something's going on with the drama that I am following online. I don't know. There's these streamers that their interpersonal drama constantly plays out on stream. It's kind of crazy. It looked like they had patched things up, and apparently they're fighting again. Oh, it's something that I know that some of my viewers are probably not particularly interested in right now. But it just popped up on my X. Trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, well, back to the more important things here of how I worry that these this state of California is just gonna screw themselves over. I personally think that they are lost. Uh, they are a lost cause. Them in LA. Has Brad at 9%, the second Dem at 20 something. That says it all. I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I understand that. I get that the prediction markets are often right. I'm assuming that it's full of people. I would think it would be full of people that actually voted, and so they're basing on on how it is they talk to other people. I I don't know how that's proof that all these people that millions and millions of dead people are going to get counted. I'm sorry. I don't. If that's what you're telling me, I don't understand it. Internet drama, middle school arguments, great. Well, yeah, it's nice. It's a little bit more than just internet drama, but it's a long story that I don't really have time to get into right now. But it may be something that I dive into here for a little bit because I'm thinking I've kind of said everything there is to say about this. I think that, like New York, I think California is a lost cause. I do not think that there is enough people that have enough common sense to vote for Spencer Pratt. This is assuming that he's any better than Karen Bass. I don't know that we can trust this guy. He doesn't like ICE. I heard an interview where he talked about how he wants ICE out of LA. What? I don't know. I'm not quite sure why we would want someone that's not going to cooperate with ICE. For some reason that does not compute with me. That does not make sense to me. But that seems to kind of be what everyone thinks. That apparently we should want somebody that doesn't want to work with ICE to get these illegal aliens out of their city. So I don't understand the logic there. To I don't think that he can. I don't understand. Told you so. I just tried to explain it to you that I think that they're a lost city, that they're a lost state. None of these people that voted for her in this was gonna vote for him. If their only option is these two people in the final count in November, guess who they're fucking gonna vote for? They're gonna vote for Karen Bass, dude. You're not voting for him. None of these people, even if he ends up making the runoff, none of these people that voted for all these others, there's not enough of them that are going to be willing to vote for this guy. So there's no told you here. I'm not going to be overly surprised that both the mayor and the governor ends up being fucking Democrats. The difference between you and I is that you want to blame it on all these other fake ballots here. I want to blame it on the reality of the way these people vote. You're free to think what you want. I am not buying it. I am looking at the reality of the way these people think, the way they live their lives, and the way they talk about what they want. I'm sorry. You want me to believe that you are free to believe the conspiracy theories. It's why you will never come to my stream and see hundreds of people in here. It's why you'll never, because I'm not feeding into the bullshit that they want. If a ballot is cast, if a ballot comes in 7 days after being postmarked on the day of the election, they count it. That's the way the law works, point blank, in a discussion for me anyway. There's no debating that that's the way it works, and then they have 10 days to cure it. If they have a problem with the signature or address or something, they have 10 days to cure their ballot. It's just the way it works. So, I mean, I don't know what else. If you want to believe it's because they got just millions and millions of these illegal ballots that shouldn't be counted, fine. Believe it all the fuck you want. I don't. And you're not going to see hundreds of thousands of Californians holding massive protests because they don't agree with how this was held. If you can prove that there was thousands and thousands of thousands of these 22 million that you're talking about, it just millions of them were not valid, and all millions of those are going to get sent back in because somehow they're paying enough people to do it. So here's another thing. Dude, I don't think you understand just how many hundreds and hundreds of people would have to be involved in pulling that off. It just, it does not make sense to me. I'm not saying that there's not any fraud at all. I'm just not sure that I've ever seen verifiable proof that it's been enough to completely just throw it into a ring. I'm sorry, but most Los Angelinos, this is what they want. The way that we see this pan out, this is what they want. I don't know why. I don't know why they're so stupid, but in my opinion, they are. I I don't get it. There's the likelihood that there's ever going to be a web way in any time soon in Cali. I am sorry, but unless we are able to get hundreds and hundreds of Republicans to uproot their lives and move to California, which is going to be hard to do when you consider the housing market, when you consider just what kind of jobs, they might be able to get. Okay, whatever you say, dude. It's like I'm not gonna argue with you because there is no arguing with people like you. There just isn't. There's no debating you. There's no convincing you. There just isn't. It's all fraud. I don't know who we should arrest, but we should arrest them all. Because they just have hundreds of thousands of people that they were able to pay to turn in all these ballots and ruin the election. I'm just so tired of it. I'm just so tired of everything being fraud if it doesn't go the way that we want it to. And see, I don't live in California. So ultimately, how they vote, let's get off my back. As long as we can keep what they have from coming here to Ohio, I'm good. But we could just have Los Angeles and New York just leave the union, and I would be totally fine with that. Because I don't think that at this point, I do not think that there is any way to save. I don't think there's any way to save these states. You guys just don't understand that for whatever reason, this is what they fucking want. Yeah, there's no convincing me because I don't even understand where you're getting that number. You're just throwing out random numbers. And I never see any documentation for any of it. You just throw out these random numbers that somebody somewhere on X posted, I'm sure. And you're just accepting it as fact. I don't get it. I don't understand it. See, here we go. This person right here. It's automatically just a red flag that none of the late counted ballots in California has gone to Spencer Pratt so far. And someone's trying to tell her, stop believing the BS you read on X. No. No. It isn't odd. You don't even know. You don't even know any of the ones. Long as the votes were cast or post. If a ballot was post marked on Tuesday. It has 7 days to arrive. You get counted. Most of these ballots probably most of those anything post March Tuesday may or may not arrive by Thursday. So no, this isn't a red flag and reflects so far the way Californians think. Dude, I've done the research. I've looked at it, and I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense to me. You enjoy the rest of your night. I know the facts as well because I've looked at these alleged facts that you're talking about, and it just doesn't add, and most of it doesn't add up to me. I'm sorry. I'm glad it does for you. I don't understand why people do not understand. This is what Angelinos want. This is their mindset. Like, I don't get it. And this person has no idea just how many of these were late counted, were even mail-in ballots. She doesn't know that they've even started counting mail-in ballots. It's like, but she's probably responding to someone who did. Aw, poor doggo. Let's see what else Ralph might be saying here about. He's saying he put her in the hospital right now. He's real mad. What did she do that hacked him off? This was the interpersonal drama that I'm talking about. I thought they heard it again. He's inconvenient for her again as he spirals on screen. I wonder if she talked to him about the tampon, whether it's just him getting fingered that upset him. He's saying he put her in the hospital more, right? Okay, let's. We gotta go to the Rumble, folks. Let's see. Let's see if he's still. If Ralph is still broadcasting. He's not broadcasting anymore? I missed the stream. I'm wondering if there's already... I'm just wondering if maybe someone has already uploaded clips on some of the channels that I follow. No, nothing there. Check out Stellan. It's gonna be a few minutes, but eventually there will be a split. Oh my god. It isn't. Oh no. We'll shut out on oh, these people. I've accepted that I've accepted that my fellow Trump supporters are just gonna be like this. And the problem is you wouldn't be kind for stealing the election. If the guy you wanted was winning. This is reason that even though I voted myself back. Hey. You claim you claim you understand, but you don't. You don't understand what this. This is my baby. I just don't understand. I don't know. There could be an additional update relatively soon here. There could be. What I hate is I think that they stopped counting at like 5 p.m. local time. Fucking count 24 hours if that's what you gotta fucking do. You know? It's that simple. Fucking count for 24 hours if that's what you gotta fucking do. Have the volunteers to do it, I guess. She's at 65. It's at 60 seconds. No, it's gonna stand, sweetie. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't stand it anymore. I can't. I just can't do it. I just can't. It's just out and it's working overtime to do all these fake ballots. God, these people. I'm wondering. I want to go to Kiwi Farms because I want to see if there has been no, there's been no updates on whether or not Makeda Law has to postpone his wait, I want to get on. I may see something different when I'm logged in. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Is there any evidence that Melton intends to show up? I kept imagining him being brought into the courtroom on a stretcher or interaction. The General Hobson is an attorney from the legal system. Melton's seemingly encompassing nearing retirement from suing Nick's auto accident and not only treating any of it seriously, just starting to feel like his side is going to ask for another delay tomorrow at the hearing. Imagine Nick Melton and Laura all showing up to court in wheelchairs. I hope Mama Kay is there to tell us what happened. I wonder if I thought I was getting Timid Tiger's updates. Yeah, we follow each other. I'm not getting her updates for some reason. I need to subscribe to her updates. Aww. Oh, this is such a great day if it's true. Even if it's not true, it's still great. Aww. Timeline cleanse. You're not even seeing this. My bad. Here. Now, they're claiming yours. The rabbit shows dominance by needing to be groomed, while cats show dominance by grooming the other. A perfect relationship. Let's refresh and see what happens. Nope. As at almost 8 o'clock. Nothing else has been submitted. Consider proud voters think they live in the city of Los Angeles, Calabasas, Malibu, Culver City, Marina del Rey, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, and West Hollywood are chartered cities with their own mayors. To be fair, I doubt this is either. You don't even know how to spell Calabasas, but you don't. You're trying to manipulate our elections. Fuck off, nerd. I don't think he's an ugly dork, but I think he looks gay. The guy's a comedian. The guy calls himself a comedian. I don't know. Abortion services? I mean, there's not much he can. I don't know what he could do at this point to influence the election. I mean, I suppose what he's supposed to can influence the general. All right, let's go back to Kiwi Farms here. Let's invite was anything. I think it's on that. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I am curious as to whether or not he streamed after having that accident. I know he missed one day. Let's see if when the last time was that he streamed 5 days ago. I think so. I think it's pretty sure that's what it was. I don't even know how someone can listen to him. How these people manage to listen to him for 6 hours. No, I'm just wanting to get to his list of live shows. I'm not wanting to pull up the last live show. Oh my god. Come on. I guess that was. I guess that was his last one. Oh no. He had a members that he did 3 days ago. So apparently there is some sort of live police raid going on. Let's see what's going on with that. What is all this? It's just all these random people with no context for who any of these people are. All they want to do is get rid of the chat. And then invade it. Is that so hard? There we go.
4-3 and I don't know. 4-3 and I guess we got a movie over here.
Well, this right here is Newark. This must be, I think this is Los Angeles right here, where the drug raid was happening, I think. Yeah, okay. Well, this is old if the time is right.
Go ahead. Oh, bullshit. Oh, bullshit. Look at that. A fucking movie at the park. And that smells so fucking bad over here.
This looks like it's
Who even wants to be over here?
Set. I don't understand what any of this
Making
has
movies.
to do with me.
It smells like piss everywhere you fucking go. So I did the new Hollywood. Look at this shit. What? Part of the movie? Yeah, I know. It's movie time.
really sad that in order to get any kind of audience, you can't be a middle of the road kind of person. And I think sometimes that if you are a middle of the road person, it's because you had a built-in audience. Because that's the way Tulsi Gabbard was able to be. That's what I think. Because she wasn't really extreme when it came to her views, you know? One way or the other, I don't think, from what the little bit that I saw. Are you interested in this house and selling this area? Almost what you make it. I wonder what movie this is. And what happened to the drug raid? Yeah, nobody's had. Somebody else said to me, like, where's the raid? Someone's saying it's clickbait, and I think they're right. Well, maybe I'll come in a tantrum. No. Let me check and see if there's any updates. No, I'm pretty sure we've gotten all the updates that we're gonna get tonight. So I think that's a wrap, people. Bye.